When we work to engage constructively across different churches, and sometimes even within a church, one of the most challenging issues historically has been the question of the roles of men and women in the church, especially in terms of leadership. And historically, there have been two different positions: the egalitarian position and the complementarian. And the egalitarian position says that there is no difference in the roles that men and women are allowed to play. The complementarian position says that there are some roles that are uniquely for men. It's fascinating to me that this difference really comes from an understanding of the role that culture plays in how we read the New Testament. It's very clear that in the New Testament, the role of elder was specifically for men, even as it's clear that Jesus chose men as apostles. The question is that what it's supposed to be like for everybody? And so this becomes a question of interpretation and how culture plays a role in our understanding of Scripture. And it's challenging to walk through this together. And so we are trying to figure out a way to do this as a church. So we as a church are complementarian, but I think in a pretty soft way where we are trying to read carefully that what are the things that are specifically not open to women, and let's only do that. Let's not say, well, now women can't teach because of what's there. And there are specific things in the New Testament that essentially nobody follows literally. There are very few who hold carefully to the restriction about hair length and wearing hats and when women can't speak. So it's a complex thing. And so we're trying to figure out a way through this that allows for us to have people who view this differently in our church, and yet a way in which we can be at home together. So on our church board, we have two different roles. We have one that's called member at large, and the other is elder. What member at large means is that this is a member that's not an elder, a full member of the board, just not playing this additional role as elder. And so the members at large can be women or men. Elders are men. And so this is where it is the complementarian position. And that includes the senior pastor. So for us as a church, the senior pastor cannot be a woman. So what do these elders do? The thing that seems clear from the description in the New Testament is that this overall responsibility for the scriptural direction and the doctrinal teaching of the church is what the elders are to do. And so we see these as additional responsibilities for the elders. It is also responsibility of the elders for the counsel and accountability of the senior pastor. Since the senior pastor is one of the elders, so senior pastor is male, that other men will be the primary source of counsel and accountability for that senior pastor. And then the fourth category is church discipline and oversee membership. And so similar to the spiritual oversight, it is responsibility of the elders to oversee the process and to take responsibility for church discipline. Now, this last statement I think is very significant because what it's saying is that the elders bear final responsibility for these things, but it's not expected that they do these things all on their own. It's a responsibility they have as oversight, but not something that they do without the input, the counsel, the dialogue of others, especially others on the board, but not restricted there. So this is the nature of our board. It's very important to us that the board be a group of equals in terms of the general board responsibility, and some of them play a special role. The elders play a special role about these additional 4 areas.